Okay, take it away, Aaron. You were
All
saying
right, Bitcoin.
storage.
What's it all about? Why is it valuable? So the main premise is that it's a storage of value. And so when we're looking at our financial system right now, there's a lot of information getting foretold that we're looking at a possible crash or financial crisis, or that the dollar is getting inflated. And every time that they print money out, then the value of the dollar gets more inflated. And so we're possibly at risk of the value of the dollar imploding. So, and on top of that, banks are getting into potential like financial struggles. It's just like a lot of information out there that's leading to a world where we might have financial collapse. Is that fair to say? Are you like familiar with all of that information going on right now?
No, absolutely not. But
okay.
I mean, I think I understand it, kind of.
Yeah, so this gets into political ideology too. So in terms of economics and trying to have a system in America where we're economically healthy, these are all good things to know about, because these are all things impacting our system where it could possibly cause a collapse. And politically speaking, this is more right-leaning. So this is where arguments can kind of conflict, like opposing views and things of that nature, where we have the left that's more like social, humanitarian, and then the right being more about the economics and the fundamentals of the system and like the markets and stuff. Totally different conversation to be had, but basically, if you have value in a system, so the US dollar, for instance, it's a tool that holds value in it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the dollar is able to buy goods and services because the dollar exchanges value. Like you have X amount of value exchange, hopefully getting equal amount of value in return. So it's a tool to exchange value.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a possible financial collapse and you have all this value stored in this tool called the dollar, then you're looking at a bleak future where you could see all of that value in your dollar just go away or get devalued. And it's historically speaking, we have an inflation rate. So if you're not holding assets and you just stay in cash, historically speaking, your value of the dollar is getting devalued. So you're actually losing money by holding, and this is why it's important you making sure you get a 3%. Like if you have a career with an employer, to get the 3% raise. This is why they tell you to invest in your 401k, all this other stuff, because you want to try to beat out that 3% inflation rate. Right. To be able to stay on top. And then there's also other factors that like causes more inflation. So basically you have two factors going on here. You have factors that are devaluing your cash, and then other investments that are increasing the value of your money. And so this is why it's important to invest. But so you have investments like stocks that are for growth, but then there's a third entity. So you have cash, you have investments, and then you have storage of values. So this is where Bitcoin comes into play. So historically speaking, I'm throwing a lot of information at you.
Yeah, bring it on.
Are you getting it all?
I am putting on so many layers.
All right,
we are in a clothing store.
Going down the rabbit hole. I love talking about this stuff, though.
I know, I can tell. I'm a lot. Bring it on. Yeah.
Okay, so we have cash, we have investments like Tesla, where you're trying to grow your value of money, and then you have the third entity, which is a storage of value. This could also be gold. So in our financial system that we have right now, a good storage of value, historically, traditionally speaking, has been gold for hundreds of years. Well, I don't know how long it's been, but for a lot of years.
Just the gold. Probably before that. Definitely before that. 100% before that.
Yeah. So
That's
as a currency, as a tool to exchange value, it's very important that that tool that you're using to exchange value has a good storage of value. That tool doesn't fluctuate in value all the time. So the reason why right now with this US dollar, which is also known as fiat currency, a lot of people are getting upset with the government. Could be a more conservative leaning political view, but people are getting upset with the government because they're printing out money. They don't know where that printed money is coming from. It's devaluing their dollar. They're losing all this value. They're getting nervous. They don't know where to store their money. If they should leave in cash, no, probably not. If they should put it in investments, or some people are putting it into gold because they're afraid of financial collapse. So gold is really good at retaining value. So it's almost like the safe haven of money, where you can put your value into that. If there's a financial collapse, you'll still have value stored. So then we'll have a collapse and then exchange back into the system when the system has collapsed, so that you can still stay on top. So,
Yo, 1 ounce of gold per bar is $1,866.58.
1,000?
Yeah.
Gold bars.
A 1 ounce gold per bar. So I think that's like I wanted to look at how much gold costs, I guess.
Yeah, and again, it's just a tool to retain value. Same thing when you're investing into stocks. They're just tools to either increase or retain value.
Yeah. You could just get a pure gold 1 ounce Perth mint from Australia and then have your money saved like that.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right. And a lot of people do that. They just store their wealth in gold. And gold's a good thing too, because it's a physical asset. So if the world blows up, they'll still have gold bars there to hold that value. So when system comes back, they'll have money retained.
Wait, did you say the world blows up, or did you say if?
Well, either or.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
So
Wow, a 400 ounce gold bar is estimated at like about $800,000.
So this is all kind of just laying the foundation out, like the general knowledge to the reason why Bitcoin is so important. So now we have this new asset, which is a new tool that's in our society that's able to be a hedge against the financial system, because it's completely digital. It's on a completely different network than our financial system. So a lot of people are putting money into Bitcoin as a storage of value in case if the financial system collapses. Hence why Tesla might have put in billions of dollars, or 1.5 billion into Bitcoin. Okay. Because if the financial system collapses, then they have money. But it's also really cool because it's not only a good storage of value, but it's also an asset that has been, historically speaking, grown super fucking exponentially. Like, so you have the potential to 20x your money, and on top of that, it's a good storage of value.
So it's kind of like if gold, like it seems like gold, like this is me trying to compare. Like gold keeps the value, but it doesn't grow. Bitcoin is like it keeps the value, but it also grows.
Yes, exactly. So it's imagine if gold just came out tomorrow. You're gonna want to hop in on that if you could like foresee the future, because you're like, oh shit, like the gold network is gonna completely expand and like gain me so much money. while also being in the long term a good storage of value that is stable, that holds my money. Because like that's the end goal too. Because you have to figure you want to earn a lot of money, but then what happens when you earn all that money? You're going to want to store it in an asset that is able to preserve your wealth. This is why people will buy artwork, because art has been shown to be a good storage value. People might buy real estate to like rent it out to people to be able to get like an income from that. So then they have assets built up so they can pass it along to family. Bitcoin is a new thing that's looking to be a really good storage of value that you can also pass down to your kids in the future.
Whoa. Yes. I wonder if you could like there was something, I haven't watched the video yet, but I'm going to. But like how Bitcoin and just cryptocurrency will impact the music industry and like impact I only saw it for the music industry, but I'm sure that they have it for like the film industry too. But like I wonder if like investments will be through Bitcoin instead of like a producer coming in with all of the money. So something.
Yeah, I could see it being like I'm trying. Oh, Venmo, like how we have digital wallets to exchange money.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that becoming more crypto-fied.
Yo, yeah. Hardcore.
But in terms of just straight investments, like this is why it's good to just hold your money in Bitcoin, because you have these two factors. You have the possibility that it's exponentially growing with the network, and we're still early on. It's almost like if you got in on Facebook when it first started happening. And then on top of that, you have this good, all the aspects that make a good storage of value, which is it retains that price. That's going to be more of a good element in the long run as the Bitcoin network grows.
Cool. All right. Sign me up. Well, I'll sign myself up because you probably need your social security number.
Yeah, I think for Gemini you do.
You don't have for Coinbase?
Probably. I just don't remember. It's been a couple years.
Okay. Solid. Cool. That's dope.
But yeah, it's pretty historical. Some of the people that are really bullish in Bitcoin, like big Bitcoin supporters, think that this is going to be the best storage of value that the world, humanity has ever seen and will ever see. It's literally like the perfect digital asset for storing value.
So how does it work?
Like, why is it a good storage of value?
I guess. Like, is it, what makes it safe? What makes it,
So,
what makes it safe? Because it's fine, right?
It's code. It's code. So whenever a person's computer node is able to solve an equation, then it creates Bitcoin. So that's why it uses up a lot of energy. It's because you have these computers that are programming and calculating, and when they complete calculations, then they make a Bitcoin. So why is it a good storage of value? So like we were talking about with the dollar, every time that they print off money, it devalues your dollar because there's more dollars in circulation in the system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so then is it like all the equations that are happening for Bitcoin are constantly changing?
No, this is two separate things.
Okay.
So I was just talking about how is mining done. The calculations is how mining's done. That's one aspect of it. And then the other aspect is that Bitcoin is once 21 million coins are mined, there cannot be any more Bitcoin mines. So it's, and that's programmed into the code. That's hard coded. No one can change it. It's set and done. Like that's for the rest of eternity. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin.
Who made this?
However, also there's possibility that Bitcoin can be lost. Rocco, what do you want? Crazy kitty.
Oh my gosh. Bitcoin was created by a person who vanished from the internet in 2011.
Yeah, so his name's Satoshi or her. It's a group maybe. So that's another good reason why Bitcoin's valuable. Ow, is because no one knows. So, are you familiar with decentralization?
Yeah.
So like if you have a centralized force, it could potentially infringe on individual freedoms because you have the central authority that's telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the benefit of cryptos and blockchain is it decentralizes that power.
It allows anybody to be able to do anything.
It just gives us more autonomy and more individual freedom because we don't have a centralized force that is telling us what to do in the system. The code is the program is created and established, and once it's established, then it's free reign. So that's one of the good elements of Bitcoin because it's on a blockchain. I'm throwing a shit ton at you.
I think I get it, kind of. Oh, yeah, I gotta research myself as well. But okay, yeah, blockchain is another word that I don't exactly understand.
Yeah, it's a lot. You have to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm giving you a lot of just general concepts of why like it's important. So I think just honing in or getting that big picture view will help you with your own research to know what all stuff means.
Yeah. Cool. So what is blockchain?
So blockchain is a technology that decentralizes that power. So it's what allows us to be able to run this autonomous network where it's able to what they call self-govern. So it's basically a system that's able to work on its own that doesn't have a centralized force. So imagine if Facebook was decentralized, there's no Mark Zuckerberg that's running that system anymore. It's just the system itself running like autonomously.
That's so great. I like this even more and more. This is
Yeah, so it's just ultimately giving us more freedom, hopefully.
It's just like this information, I hope like they gotta teach it to everybody.
Yeah, and it's a lot. Like we already covered like 7 different topics. Yeah, so I think I like covered the general overview of why it's important. The storage of value is important. Potential for DeFi, decentralizes power. Um, financial system collapsing, being a safe haven from that. Exponential growth with just the price fluctuation as the network expands because we're so early on. Similar to like if you were to jump in on gold when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so ultimately, if you're making an investment, the number that you want to look at is your percentage increase on that asset. So what's the percentage that's going to increase in a year? Typically, it's 8 to 10%, but with Bitcoin, it's been like fucking crazy amount every year. Let me look that up. Yearly growth of Bitcoin percent. It's been 90%. So the average standard, if you're doing a 401k, they typically say like the 8 to 10% year over year.
Wow.
Bitcoin has been 90%.
What the hell? Okay, yeah, it's time to get in. It's time
But
to
it's
get
also volatile too. So like it might go up 1,000% in a month, and then it might drop 1,000%. But on average, it's been going to 90%.
Got it.
And if especially if it doesn't go below 50,000, then we're looking at really good establishment of Bitcoin, and we're looking at the next threshold number to be 100,000, and then from 100,000 it's going to be 250,000. So there's price points that people are looking at and doing like math and shit to show that okay, this is a good time to get in. This is where it's going to be in a 5-10 year range. Blah blah blah. So all I'm trying to say is that it's establishing right now, and the next price point is 100,000. And there's price points up to 1 million at this point. So if as long as it stays in line with those price points, then we're looking at a pretty bright future for this.
Wow. So interesting. How have you seen it affect? Because you've been with it for 3 years. So how have you seen it in the past 3 years?
So I first got into it when it was in 2017, but I sold it at that point.
Oh.
And then I held off. I wasn't really like in the community at all, and I didn't reinvest until October. So from October to now, I've had huge gains.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a potential, like you said, it's created a new financial system. So more and more things and news is going to be starting to pop up with more opportunities, like Ethereum, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That's another type of cryptocurrency. But what Ethereum allows is people to create decentralized apps. So like how we were saying, decentralization is a good aspect of blockchain. We're looking at a world where people can create apps on this network to have decentralization. So we're looking at YouTube or Facebooks of this new world that are like no centralized force having control.
That's amazing. I love that. But with Ethereum, it does have people who started it.
Yeah, Vitalik, he's the creator of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like with Bitcoin, there was a creator. He left their name anonymous. So that's why like Bitcoin has more anonymity to it. But once the blockchain is established, they can't change it. That's the thing with Ethereum too. It's like, yes, he was the creator and people know who the creator was, but he's established it and he can't go in and change it like a centralized force would.
I see.
He can add on to it and build into it and build apps into it and stuff. But the core foundation can't be necessarily changed.
He was 19.
Yeah, he's fucking genius.
Wow. Crazy. Okay, cool. 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 All right. Yeah, I'm sold.